Story 1. The Man Under the Floorboards. It was the kind of sound that makes your blood run cold, not loud, but distinct. A creak, then another. I froze, coffee mug halfway to my lips, standing alone in my childhood home. Let me backtrack for a second. My name's Elise, and I'd returned to my parents' house to help get it ready for sale. They'd moved to Florida, and I volunteered to spend a week cleaning the place up, boxing old books, tossing expired cans, repainting dull walls. Nothing dramatic, just nostalgia and dust. The house was in the middle of nowhere classic Midwest. Wide open space. No neighbors within shouting distance. Wind that rattles the windows like whispers from the past. I'd grown up here. I knew every creaky stair, every rusted hinge. Or so I thought. On the third night, around 2:13 a.m., yes, I remember the time exactly, I woke up to the soft, rhythmic squeaking of floorboards downstairs. At first, I thought it was the house settling. Old houses do that. Then the sound paused and started again. Slower this time, like dot, dot, dot footsteps. I didn't move. I just laid there in the guest room, under my grandmother's thick floral quilt, eyes wide open, listening, then silence. I grabbed my phone. No reception. Of course. I got up, heart hammering, and did what every horror movie screams at you not to do. I went to check. Creeping down the stairs, each step groaned like it wanted to betray me. I peeked into the living room. Nothing. Kitchen empty. Doors locked. Windows shut. Maybe a raccoon on the roof, I told myself. Or a bird. A large bird. With boots. I went back to sleep eventually. Kind of. The next day, I found something weird. Under the rug in the hallway one, I hadn't rolled up yet, was a cut in the floorboards. Not a crack. A clean, rectangular cut. Like a trapdoor. I'd lived here my whole life and never noticed it. Curiosity won over caution, so I grabbed a screwdriver from the garage, pried the board open, and nearly threw up. There was a smell. Sweet and rotten, like spoiled fruit left in the sun. Inside was a hollow space, about 4 feet deep, and in it, dot, 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 were blankets. Food wrappers, empty cans, a flashlight, and a Polaroid photo of me at 16 years old sleeping in my bedroom. My hands were shaking. I dropped the lid and backed away like it had bitten me. I called the police. They came, asked a million questions. One of them, Officer Hargrove, looked like he'd seen this before. "You said your parents moved out 6 months ago?" he asked. I nodded. Did they ever mention anything strange? Stuff missing? Things out of place? I shook my head. That evening, they brought in dogs. One of them started barking like mad near the trapdoor. They opened it again, this time with masks, and pulled out more photos. Some of me, some of my parents, some of neighbors I didn't recognize. And a journal. The journal belonged to someone named E. Not Elise, someone else. Someone who had been living under our house on and off for nearly 7 years. His entries were disturbing, not violent, just obsessive. Pages and pages of observations. Elise has friends over today. Loud music. She laughs when she thinks no one is watching. She cries sometimes, late at night. I wish I could tell her she's not alone. I saw her drop her keys. I picked them up before she noticed. He talked about protecting me, about watching over me, about being part of the family. He called my mom, Mother. The police never found him. The theory? He'd been squatting in our house, using the crawl space and that hidden compartment, coming out at night to eat, watch, listen, maybe even sleep in my bed when I was at school. That sound I heard at 2:13 a, that was him, slipping out, thinking I was asleep. The creaks, the silences, the missing leftovers from the fridge, I'd written it off as memory lapses. He hadn't been gone long. The food was still fresh. I haven't gone back to that house since. But sometimes, late at night, in my new apartment with triple locks and motion sensors, I swear I hear a creak. Story 2. The woman in apartment 3B. I moved into my new apartment for one reason. It was cheap. Dirt cheap. Like, suspiciously cheap in a city where even closet-sized studios go for thousands. But I was desperate. My previous landlord had sold the building, and I had 2 weeks to find a place. So when I stumbled on this listing, third floor walk-up, fully furnished, all utilities included, I jumped on it. The landlord, Mr. Kaplan, was in his late 60s. Kind eyes, slightly hunched posture, smelled like peppermint and sawdust. He didn't even ask for a credit check. Just first month's rent and a handshake. Just keep quiet at night, he said, and don't bother the woman in 3B. I thought he was joking. I even laughed. But he didn't. She's private, he added. Respects her space, she'll respect yours. Apartment 3 was mine. 3B was directly across the hall. I moved in on a Thursday. The place was oddly pristine. Not dusty, not old. Just frozen in time. Plastic still on the couch. Curtains stiff from sun exposure. But I didn't complain. That night, around 1:30 a.m., I heard a sound from the hallway. Not loud, just the soft rustling of fabric, like someone pacing back and forth in a long gown. I peeked through the peephole. Nothing. The hallway was empty. I opened the door quietly and found a single white rose lying in front of 3B, no vase. No note. Just the rose. I figured it was a romantic gesture, shrugged, and went to bed. The next night, same time 1:30 a.m. I heard. Mine. Faint. Sad. A woman's voice. I pressed my ear to the door. The humming was coming from 3B. It stopped suddenly, and I jumped back like I'd been caught. The next morning, I saw Mr. Kaplan in the lobby. The woman in 3B, I asked casually. She okay? His eyes darted around like someone might be listening. She's lived here a long time, he said. Best to leave her be. The way he said it felt less like advice and more like a warning. Over the next few weeks, strange things started happening. My apartment was always colder than the hallway, no matter how high I cranked the heat. At night, I'd hear soft knocking on my door. Not like someone trying to get in dash, just ... tapping. 3 slow knocks. Always at 1:30. I stopped opening the door. One night, I woke up to find my TV on, playing static. I don't even watch TV. I had to dig the remote out from under the couch cushions. Then, a few nights later, I found a second rose. This time on my doormat. Same type, same placement. No note. I knocked on 3B. No answer. I pressed my ear to the door silence. The peephole in her door was covered, taped over from the inside. I started asking around. Other tenants either didn't know her or refused to talk. One old guy on the ground floor, Marvin, gave me a weird look when I mentioned 3B. Thought they closed that unit, he muttered. Back in '97, after the fire. Fire? I asked him to explain. He shook his head and shuffled away. I Googled everything I could. Address, fire, 3B. Eventually, I found an article. Fire kills woman in apartment 3B. It read, 1997. Candle caught on curtains. Body found near the door, holding dotted white rose. Her name was Elizabeth Dwyer, 32 years old, lived alone, never married. I stared at her photo. Pale skin, dark hair, eyes like she knew something you didn't. The next night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the living room, lights off, waiting for 1:30. Sure enough, the humming started. Clearer now, just beyond the door. I held my breath. The knocks came 3 soft taps, then silence. I opened the door. Nothing in the hall. No Rose this time. I turned back to go inside and froze. On my coffee table, where nothing had been minutes before, sat a single fresh white rose. I moved out the next day. Mr. Kaplan didn't ask why. He just nodded like he already knew. Most don't last more than a month, he said quietly. She gets attached. I live 3 cities away now. Top floor of a modern building. Triple locks, motion lights. But sometimes, only sometimes, I swear, I hear humming. Just faintly. Around 1:30. Story 3. The boy in the reflection. When I was 12, I nearly drowned in my aunt's pool. I don't remember much, just flashes. The weight of water. The sun flickering above. When I was 12, I nearly drowned in my aunt's pool. I don't remember much, just flashes. The weight of water. The sun flickering above. A scream. And then someone pulling me up. When I came to, coughing and crying on the poolside tiles, everyone was gathered around me. My cousins, my aunt, my mom. But no one knew who'd pulled me out. You must have kicked off the bottom, they said. Instinct. But I remember fingers, cold ones, gripping my arm, holding tight. That was the first time I saw him. I didn't realize it until years later. We all have childhood memories that feel like dreams, right? For me, that summer was a blur. But every now and then, I'd catch glimpses in mirrors mostly. Reflections that didn't match. Like brushing my teeth and seeing a boy in the hallway mirror behind me. Pale, dripping wet, just standing there. But when I turned around, nothing. It kept happening. At my house. At school. Once, even in the rearview mirror of my mom's car. Always the same boy. Soaked clothes, hollow eyes, just watching. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? Years passed. I grew up. The sightings became less frequent. Then they stopped. I moved out at 18, went to college, tried to forget. Until last month, I'd come home from my sister's wedding. She was marrying her high school sweetheart, and the whole family gathered at my aunt's place, the same one with the pool. The night before the wedding, I couldn't sleep. I stepped outside for air, wandered toward the pool. Moonlight made the water shimmer. The surface looked like glass. And then he was there, not in the water, not near it. In the reflection, standing next to me. But when I looked to my side, no one. I stared into the water. His eyes stared back. Slowly, he lifted his hand and pointed toward the house. I turned. The kitchen light flickered, then went out. My chest tightened. I walked inside, heart pounding. Everyone was asleep, except ... not quite. In the hallway mirror, I saw my niece, Lily, standing in the kitchen, alone. I hurried over, but the kitchen was empty. Lily? I called out. No answer. I checked her room. She was in bed, sound asleep. I tried to shake it off, chalk it up to nerves, exhaustion, déjà vu. But then the dream started. Every night since, I've dreamt of water. Deep, cold, black. The boy is there. He doesn't speak. He just points. Always at something behind me. When I turn, I wake up. 2 weeks ago, I bought an antique mirror at a flea market. I don't know why. It felt ... familiar. I hung it in my bedroom. That night, I saw him again, in the reflection. But this time, he wasn't alone. A girl was with him, younger, holding his hand, crying. I stared, frozen. The boy looked at me directly. For the first time in over a decade, he moved. Slowly, he mouthed something. I didn't hear it, just saw the shapes of the words, over and over. She's still there. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I pulled the mirror down and checked the frame. There, taped to the back, was a newspaper clipping. 2 children missing after lake accident, it read. No bodies recovered, just clothes found near the dock. The photo showed the boy and the girl. Their names were Michael and Sarah Holloway. The article was dated 1 week before I was born. I did some digging. The flea market vendor had gotten the mirror from a storage unit sale. The unit had belonged to the Holloway family. It was their mirror, their reflection, now mine. I haven't seen them since I got rid of it. Took it to a scrapyard and watched it shatter. But now, every time I pass a mirror, any mirror, I hesitate, just for a second, because sometimes I think I see ripples.